Good afternoon, Holmes Road Church of Christ. Hope you're having a great Wednesday in the Lord. Hope that everything's going well for you. Oh, and also hope to see you on Sunday as we gather together to worship. But until then, I just wanted to bring you a little thought, a little devotional message, something to spur your thinking, keep you going in faith along the way. Have you ever had the feeling of being rejected? It is not a fun feeling. I don't know how many of you have had those feelings. A lot of people struggle with feeling rejected by others. It's a common feeling that most of us have had to deal with, and not everybody. Some people always seem to be accepted by others, but many of us have had the feeling of being rejected, and it does not feel fun. Sometimes other people in this world are just really mean people. They're really tough to deal with. I remember one time when I was in high school, I was just a teenager, and I had this really good friend. He was a really cool guy. I liked him a lot. He was a good friend, but he was not on the attractive side, as you would say. And nature was not kind to his features, and most people would say he was not an attractive fellow to look at. And one day, this really good-looking Hispanic young lady had moved into town, and the many people were taken with her beauty. She was very good looking, and me and several of the guys noticed that our friend, the one who's not so good looking, he was really interested in her. He was very attracted to her, and he never had any luck with any of the ladies in the past, and he was pretty shy. But me and my group of friends, we were building him up. We were trying to build up his confidence. We kept telling him he could do it. Just try it. She's not going to do anything mean. He just buck up and give it a shot. And then as we were trying to build up his confidence, there's another girl who was a good friend of ours. She overheard us talking at lunch, and we were talking about this and trying to build up our friend's confidence. And she came up and she told us that the new girl was from Mexico. She was an international student. And the rumors were that she didn't speak English very well. All she spoke was Spanish. So anyways, fast forward now, later in that afternoon, I was walking with that friend of mine, and we were walking down the hall together, going to another class, and that new girl from Mexico, she was coming right toward us. And I was encouraging my friend. I was like, you can do this. It'll be fine. Just give it a try, really just trying to pump him up. So my friend took a deep breath and summed up all the courage he had in his heart and his mind. And he approached the girl with every bit of fear that he had, but he did it. He approached her and he said very kindly, sweetly, he said, "Excuse me, but do you speak English?" And she answered with absolutely no Hispanic accent whatsoever. In perfect English, she said, "Not today and not to you." And she just kept right on walking. Oh man, the rejection. I just immediately said, ooh, I just felt so bad for my friend. I mean, it took so much effort for me and his other friends to get up his courage and then to be rejected like that. It took a long time for him to get over that one. Another time when I was in California, I had a friend in the church, and he was single, but he desperately didn't want to be. He longed to have a female partner. He desired to be with someone special, and he felt like he really needed that badly in his life. And this was back when dial-up internet existed, and the internet was really just starting to come about. This is a long time ago. And the only dating sites that existed on the web at that time was eHarmony. They were the only ones. Now there's a million dating sites you can go to, but the only one that existed on the web back then was eHarmony. And so he decided he was going to try out this dating site. And the commercials at the time talked about, they would give you these personality tests, and they would match up the scores of the test. They'd match you together with your perfect match, that they would psychologically evaluate everyone and just get everyone together who they knew would be a great match. And anyway, it convinced him, and my friend decided he would do the eHarmony thing. And the website gave him a connection. Once he signed up and did the test and everything, they felt that he was going to connect with this certain lady. And him and this girl, they decided they were going to meet each other for the very first time. And he calls me. And he says, Stan, I'm going to meet her, and he at this restaurant, and he was just so excited. He asked me to pray for him. He asked me that the meeting would go well, so we prayed. I mean, he was just so excited, so nervous, and he had just a lot of emotions. He had a lot of emotions going on. And we prayed about that upcoming encounter together, that it'd go well. So he arrived on time at the place, but apparently the woman he was supposed to meet had beat him there. And he walked up, and he just kind of was looking for a woman who was by herself, because they had never seen each other. And so he walked up to this girl, and he said, "Are you her? Are you the one from eHarmony?" And the first sentence she says, he asks, "Are you the one from eHarmony?" The first thing she says is, "You're a bit short for my taste. Do you mind if I just cut out of here?" Ooh, I mean, just rough. The guy was, he called me and told me about this, and he was mad. He was like, "I can't believe she said that. I'm actually," he was taller than I am. He was like 6'1". And yet he called me angry, and he was like, "She's lucky to be breaking 5'3". Why is she going to reject me for being 6'1"? But he felt the rejection pretty hard there. He was really hurt. A few years ago in Artesia, I was counseling a girl for depression, and she came to me and she said she's really depressed. And what happened? The reason she was depressed is she went into the 8th grade dance, which was a big thing back then, and she had never been asked by a boy to dance or to ever go on a date. She was just never asked by a boy. Boys just didn't seem interested in her at the time, but she was a plucky young lady. She had a lot of energy about her, and she wasn't going to let the fact that no guy asked her to stop her. So at the dance, she went to this boy that she really liked, and she approached him and said, "Hey, would you like to have a dance with me?" And the boy turned his back on her. He didn't say yes or no. He just turned his back on her and started talking to the boys that were in his group that he was standing there with. He put his hands over his face like this and said, "Hey, guys, get her away from me. She's so gross." Folks, people can be very mean, and people can say things that are very hurtful, and she felt that huge humiliation and rejection. Maybe you have stories of times when you felt rejected, when people were mean to you. And it makes me think, in the time of ancient Israelites, diseases like leprosy and other such things, it made people live outside the camp. To live outside the camp was a forlorn existence. It was a terrible existence. Israelite law said of such people in Leviticus chapter 13, verse 46, if someone had some kind of a bad disease like leprosy, Leviticus 13:46 says they must live alone outside the camp. Outside the camp was it was a horrible place. It's where all the carcasses of the sacrificial bulls were burned. You can find that in Leviticus chapter 4, verse 12. All the carcasses from the bulls that people brought for sacrifice for their sins, all the carcasses were burned outside the camp. And so if you had some kind of a bad disease or something like that nature, that's where you were banished to. That's where you had to live. This harsh reality breathes into the statement about Jesus in Hebrews chapter 13 in verse 13. If you want to turn there, you can read that verse. Hebrews 13:13 says, "Let us," talking about New Testament Christians, "let us then go to him outside the camp, bearing the disgrace he bore." See, Jesus was crucified outside the gates of Jerusalem. It's a very significant point when we study about the Hebrew sacrificial system, right? When we want, I know as human beings, we want to be popular. We want to be honored. We want to live comfortable lives at peace with people. But there are mean people, and sometimes people make us feel rejected. And God here is calling us to go outside the camp. Jesus wants us Christians to go where the disgrace is, where people who are disgraced are at. See, Jesus knows that's where you're going to find people who are hurting. That's where you're going to find the rejected people. That's where you're going to find people who need Jesus. That's where you're going to find the rejected. And that's what Hebrews 13 is letting us know. Let us, Christians, go to him outside the camp, bearing the disgrace he bore. Jesus wants us to live with the people who are being disgraced, who are being humiliated. See, because those are the ones that need Jesus the most. Those are the people we can reach. Our call is to reach out to the hurting, to reach out to find the people who are rejected and let them know they have a place in God's family, to let them know they're going to be accepted amongst God's people. And living outside the camp is where you're going to find the people who the world has mistreated. That's where you'll find Jesus, because he too wants to help those who have the feelings of rejection. That is the lesson for you this morning. I hope it has helped in some way. I hope if you are feeling rejected that you can find Jesus and let him take care of those feelings. If you're not being rejected, hopefully you will live outside the camp and be with the people who are being rejected so you can bring them to Jesus Christ. And I hope this word has helped you. We'll see you soon, Holmes Road. Bye-bye.